Hi, my name is Debbie Herbeck, and I'm excited to talk to you today. Before I begin, I'd like to pose a question to you, and I'd like you to think about it, and then I'm going to dive into it. Are you being driven or are you being drawn? A few years ago, I was approached about doing a new project, and I have to tell you, I was very excited about doing this project. And what I want to share with you is kind of the process I went through of really discerning this. And I'm going to share with you very honestly and transparently as much as I can, because this is a little bit embarrassing for me. I don't think I did a very good job of discerning this. I think I was more driven than I was drawn by the Lord. But let me unfold this for you and share with you some principles that I've learned since that time. So this opportunity came up to do something that I was very excited about. And it was actually something in the area that I felt like the Lord wanted me to do more of and develop more of. So yes, did I discern it? I tried to discern it. I spoke to my husband, Peter, about it in a very excited way. I spoke to the Lord about it in a very excited way. But I didn't invite the Lord, and I probably didn't invite Peter into the decision in the way I should. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this experience of taking something to the Lord and you're not open to hearing necessarily what he has to say. You're just bringing it to him and you're saying, Lord, this is a really good idea. Would you bless this idea? And then you bring it to him and then you hurry off because you're excited thinking, yes, God must be blessing this because this is such a good idea. But is it a God idea? And so that's how I discerned it. I didn't discern it very thoroughly. I didn't discern it very in depth. I went with something because I was driven to do it. So I want to share with you a little bit about how all that unfolded and how we know how to discern something well. Obviously, there's people, saints much wiser than me that can actually lead you in this whole process of discernment. St. Ignatius of Loyola is, I think, the champion of discernment. So go to him. But I just want to kind of get you started to even ask yourself that question. Am I living under the lordship of Jesus? And am I eager to do his will? Not to have him bless my will, but to do his will. Well, how do we know what God wants in our day-to-day life? So one of the things I learned very quickly was, as I began to unfold this discernment, was that I don't think I discerned it very well. Well, how did I know that? There were certain things that just weren't lining up. I was working hard at this project, but it was causing disturbance rather than peace in my life. Let me give you a few examples. What I didn't do is I didn't line up my priorities well. And so this is something I really suggest you do even before you take on something new and discern something new, is to sit down and write down what are your priorities. I kind of knew them in my head. I was really trying to live by them, but I didn't write them down in a way that allowed me to intentionally line up this opportunity with the things that were a priority. Did they go together? Did they line up well? Or were they in opposition to one another? So priorities for me were number one, Jesus. And that meant, am I spending daily time in prayer with him? Prayer that is drawing me into the life of Christ and drawing the life of Christ into me. And I don't want to choose anything that is going to draw me away from the priority of prayer. The second thing is my vocation. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. So my priorities are my husband, my children, my grandchildren, ways that I can be serving in the family. And yes, there are going to be times when I can't say yes to everything in my family, but I don't want to say yes to things that are drawing me away from that primary vocation. I run a ministry. It's a local ministry. I'm doing a lot every single day with a team of young women. And that's a priority for me. That's a commitment I've made. So is this other thing I'm going to bring in going to disturb that commitment to ministry, to a job that I have? And those were very important priorities that I had. I also had priority to keep with the Lord, to keep my life in balance. And I think we all know what it feels like when our life is out of balance, when we're juggling too many things and worried about what we're going to drop. So one of the ways I knew that I hadn't discerned this well is the disturbance that it caused because I wasn't keeping those things that were priorities in the right order. Yes, I was praying, but I was squeezing it in. Yes, I was trying to be attentive to my husband and my family, but even the things I'd said yes to were causing me more anxiety because I didn't have enough time to do this project that I had committed to. So lots of things going on. And then disturbance in my own soul. I wasn't at peace. I was working hard, and the thing that popped up in all this was self-reliance. I wasn't letting the Lord help me in this process. I was relying on myself and my own strength. And I saw pretty quickly that I was running out of energy. I was running out of inspiration. And I was just running out of just physical energy to do what I needed to do. So a question you can ask yourself as you're making a decision, is there peace or is there disturbance in it? Well, or is there peace or is there disturbance? Have I discerned this well? Even Jesus, think about him, had to dismiss the crowds to go away. Okay, he didn't just pile everything on and do everything everybody asked him to do. Jesus was never afraid to say yes, but he was also never afraid to say no. And one of the things I learned, and I've learned over and over again, is just because you can say yes doesn't mean you should. And whenever we say yes to something, it means we have to say no to something else. And so what I began to see is, as I had discerned this, is I was saying no to things that I had actually were priorities of yeses. And so was a good point of discernment for me to say, I want to make sure that when I add something to my life, that I'm not saying no to the wrong things in order to do this. What I want to say to you, which was so beautiful in this whole process, which was really challenging and really exhausting and really difficult, is God's compassionate heart for me. Because even in the midst of knowing, I don't think I discern this great, I need to really find out why it's hard for me to say no. Who am I afraid of disappointing? How can I learn to say no graciously and peacefully? God's heart for me in the whole process wasn't like, you made a horrible decision, you discerned this poorly, I'm disappointed in you. His heart was compassion. And God can take even our mistakes, even our miscues, and he can turn them into something beautiful. And so what happened in this whole process is I found myself needing to lean into the Lord more. I needed to ask myself some hard questions, like, why can't I say no? Who am I afraid of disappointing? And I need to pay better attention to my life and the imbalance in my life. And so God, as a father, is so compassionate and really allows us to choose and to learn as we're choosing how we can choose better. And so I really experienced God's fatherhood and his walking alongside me in this and helping me to really think more clearly about my daily life, the pattern of my daily life, how I was choosing, and was I choosing according to his will and according to his heart. So I just want to encourage you as you make your way just in daily things, but even in bigger things, as you're discerning something, what might God want me to do? Is there more? Is there less? Is this an opportunity God is putting before me? To ask yourself, am I driven or am I drawn? Is this something God is drawing me into? And if so, take it to him, submit it to him, ask him to show you. Don't go in trying to prove that it's something that he wants, but ask him to reveal to you his perfect will. God bless you.